Hello again, viewers, and greetings, fellow space travelers. This is Thorn of Night, and welcome to another lovely day on the Refuge. And I am working once again on the roadway, and I have a bit of an idea. Uh, the area here, this is the road that comes from spawn to the beginning of chapter 2 here. This area with the bricks. This is that first stretch of road. You can see there's the tree sticking out of the abandoned claim area. And I had in my head a sort of idea for what I wanted this to look like. I wanted this part of the road to sort of funnel the quester along the way and make them not have many options as far as straying from the road itself so that they could get from A to B and uh, not have to get lost or anything like that. It's just designed, I want it to be designed so that the player comes in one end and comes out the other. And the way that I'm planning on doing it, or the way that I was planning on doing it, was having these partition walls. Hi, it's nighttime, by the way. I just have it P time at day. Uh, have these partition walls. I hadn't decided if I wanted them to be actual walls or if I wanted them to be barrier blocks or what, but I'm thinking walls are probably going to be the better idea because I have an interesting idea for the layout of the area. And it's going to involve turning the area between these walls, which are exactly 10 blocks away from the outer edges of the road itself, uh, turning the area in this space into its own separate, almost biome once again. Get rid of this tree here because it's unnecessary. I could probably use a tool to get rid of these, but this is fine. I just want to have a bit of a clearing so that I can demonstrate this. And I had not considered that these leaves were really in the way. They'll disintegrate the rest of the way on their own. So anyway, I have a bit of the partition wall on this side and a bit on this side. I want it to be about 5 tall so that there's no inclination to climb. Wait a minute. This was that far away. Same. And then this goes in 1. And then 3. Figure I'll bring the road down just a little bit. Go 5 tall on these. There we go. Now it is relatively long enough. So I want this to be done in phases. Phase 1, obviously the partition wall, because anything else that goes up around the partition wall is going to be it's going to be tough to work around the wall once other things are up. So here's the wall. Phase 1 done. Phase 2, let's see here, tool, tree. If I do this, I have to do this up close. I want trees to be just inside the road, and I want them to be sort of, why can't it go there? Oh, because no, not the grass. Weird. I want it to be somewhat dense, but not impossible to see through. But the idea here is to have some backdrop of trees for the next layer so that you don't see past the next layer and see that there's a wall. I want it to be, oh, there's more trees back here, and then maybe have a glimpse of the wall through the rest of the trees to get the impression that it gets denser and thicker as you go farther away from the road. That's the basic idea that I'm having here. Then I'm going to do, let's see here, power tool, or no, tool, big tree. No, it has to be power tool, doesn't it? Power tool, big tree, tree. Is that it? If I do this, does that give me, yes. I want gigantic honkin' trees to grow even closer to the road. And I almost want this to have like a feel of overhangs. And I want it to feel dense and cloistered and just this big mess of holy cow, there's trees everywhere and I can barely see the sun kind of thing going on. Then, the next phase is, now that I've got the back wall, the small trees, and big trees in, I want to have some lighting. So, let's go slash power tool. Well, I guess I don't have to do slash power tool. I can just do the command once. Slash replace neart. What's good? Radius 15. Replace near 15. Replace the leaves with 95% leaves and 5% glowstone. Boop. That way the leaves produce their own light. Oh. Redo? Okay. Forgot about that. I should have been breaking it with my sign or something. Then I have all these glowstone lighting sources, and I can sort of conceal them a little bit with leaves. I have the wrong kind of leaf. There we go. That way they still put off the light, they're just not as glowstony. But the idea here is I want it to be nice and cramped and overgrown, but I don't want it to be so dark that it's a death trap. I'm probably even going to come through the area and make sure that the roadway has no dark spots in between the walls anywhere at all, that way nothing will spawn and hurt the players. Then the next step, and I've been tweaking this mix a little bit to try to make it a little I don't even know the word to go for this. I want the roadway, the whole area of it, to look kind of rugged and diverse and just non-homogeneous. There we go. It's non-homogeneous. I could probably add a glowstone. Let's see here. Give me glowstone. There's glowstone. I will replace this because this right here is dark. There we go. So we've got light, we've got the trees. Now we need to change the grass because the grass itself, though nice and green and grassy, just, well, it doesn't feel rugged enough. This road is sort of not well kept. It's thrown together. It's old. It's just this whole area is just used for travel. Not many people stop and smell the roses, so to speak. So, the next thing I want done here, I have been working on a formula to replace. Oh, I don't want to replace 15 away. Maybe 10 away. Replace the grass with some more grass, leave some of it grass, more than half, and then replace the rest with a mixture of path and podzol and green hardened clay and light green hardened clay. And what happens is I get this. Now, this, though a good mix of the stuff, still just doesn't do what I want it to do as far as the feel for the area, because I really do want this to be cramped and dense and overgrown. So another thing that I need, let's get some bone meal. I want everything around here, all the actual grass to be just a variety of growth. Now, I don't want it to be all that many flowers, especially the really bright ones. So I'm going to be replacing everything but the roses, or I'm sorry, the poppies. Now they're called poppies. I still have a hard time remembering that they're poppies, not roses. Replace all this, or not replace, but place all this. There we go, looks nice and dense, and I can come through and make it even better by doing that. Then I want to go slash replace near, I'll go 15 flower with the ferns. Now all the yellow and white flowers have been replaced by ferns, but the awesome thing about the ferns is they don't just have to stay like this. You can bone meal them and presto, you've got giant ferns. So I just want this whole area to look like it is just this dense, thick, untended growth. But I don't want it to look like it's dangerous and ominous. I just want it to be very, very wild and vibrant and just alive. That way, the area that I have to change only needs to be right here near the road, and I don't have to do as much stuff beyond the wall. As you can see, some of my changes have spilled over beyond. There's some glowstone outside. Whatever. It just means fewer things are going to be spawning over near the road. But only the areas that are going to be visible from inside the road are going to need to be changed. Because that's the difference between night and day right there. That, and then this. It's just a few changes. Wall, small tree, big tree, rugged ground, bone meal, ferns. And that's it. I am going to probably go through and tailor some of this so that the glowstone and the leaves aren't blocking the road and all that kind of stuff. I'm also going to, well, let's see here, probably here and there I will add some stone and moss stone fences and maybe a couple lamps and things like that. But other than the places that along this roadway are going to be quest related, and I am going to have little side roads with signs and things telling the players that they need to go over here and look at this. Other than that, it's going to be just the road. Cave noise, neat. And the portions that are going to be splitting off. Say right here I have another path that goes off towards a quest that has something to do with this lake. I don't have one in mind right now, but let's say that I've got one. All I have to do is modify this back wall here and add the trees accordingly and just make it sort of thick. Maybe not necessarily make it the same mix of back wall and small trees and big tree. Just bring it back here. Have the wall connecting over. That way, as you come down to this area and you can see the lake, and then surround the lake with the same sort of stuff, you can see the mix of the arrangement that I have here in the parts that are visible, but you don't have to worry about or I don't have to worry about, say, back here, because it's going to be behind the wall, and I can just leave this as is. Au natural. Because, as you can see, nothing back here has had to be added. All that's really going to be seen is going to be from the roadway. Except from outside. And here's where it's going to get interesting. I want... Oh, hold on. Weather clear. There we go. I want, from outside this pathway, I want the viewer to look at it and go, holy cow, those are some serious trees. So I have some custom trees in mind, and I've already started working on a couple of them, that I want to add on top of the walls and around the area to make the eye be drawn towards this area and go, hey, that's a serious forest. And it's only going to probably be on the perimeter. That way I don't have to worry about filling in the middle with all those kinds of giant trees. And what I'll probably even do is place trees on the tops of these walls. That way it utilizes the walls and adds just a gigantic tree right along the inside, so that when you look in from back here, you see some small trees in the front, some rather large vanilla trees behind them, and then even farther behind that, you see these great big monstrosities sticking up over the top that just say, look at me, I'm a giant tree. And I think that just doing the outer edge should suffice for being able to make it feel like it's just so overgrown it's insane. But like I said, I don't want it to be scary, I just want it to be overgrown. That's why I'm leaving the red flowers, is because they aren't eye-poppingly bright, but they also are not ominous. They're just red flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and get to work on the rest of the roadway, work around the bits that I've already got in here, and I want to see how this turns out. This is today's project. What I'll probably go ahead and do is work on the other end as well. That way I can just sort of join them in the middle, or get a feel of how it looks from the other side, or whatever. What I may also do is just go ahead and throw together one of the custom trees. Maybe even put it behind spawn or something. That way I've got another one over there for copying and pasting. So I'm going to get to work, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've been busily doing some stuff on the roadway, and I have also managed to come up with one of the several designs for the trees I'm going to be having. And I'm thinking of maybe having a full-grown and a sapling version of it. Well, not sapling, but not sapling the way you think sapling in this game, where you hold the little thing in your hand and plant it. But I mean, like, a smaller version of the tree, not fully grown. But so far, it looks just like your standard tree, and you're accustomed to seeing these, no problem whatsoever. But then, when you get back here and take in the whole thing, you can see it's pretty sizable, but it's still believably scaled for the player. It's not 20-foot across trunk with the leaves so high up that you have to have your render distance up to find it. No, this is just another tree that could feasibly grow in this environment. And what I'm probably going to do is make a smaller version of this and have like 2 or 3 other types of trees and maybe some smaller versions of them if it seems fitting, and get these just scattered around the side of the road over there. I just heard a spider maybe? But this is not the most grandiose tree that I've been working on recently. Jojo wanted help with manufacturing a tree based on her design parameters, and she has it on her property. Jojo One Champ, who's not been on for a little while, but I'm not holding that against her. It's her break, and also she's on the mend for having some sort of wrist injury and other things. So I'm perfectly fine with her not being on a lot. But here we have a warp to Jojo's base, and oh, she needs to add a bit more light maybe. And there's a bunch of things going on in here. She wants to make this a place where people can come and look at her builds. But there's one thing here that is mine. First off, this is her storage house. Nice windows. This is a very this makes me want a chocolate bar. That's what this does, or like a double fudge brownie with ice cream, and it's just whew. Then she's got, oh, that's just natural there. She's got this little warp here. I think this is where, I thought this is where she was supposed to have the warp set to. Maybe, did I not? I did come from here, that's right. Okay, I'm confused. There's Jojo One Champ's head right next to the beach that she designed with some little palm trees. This is a restaurant of sorts, and a couple other things that she's been working on the side. But there's one thing in here that's mine, and it's the big thing in the middle. She made the roots and the from like here down. She made this, and then from here up, I made this based on what she wanted the tree to look like. These knobbly things, and what I did is I first grew the branches out using a brush, and then I grew the leaves out. Then I replaced the leaves with a mix of like some stained glass, a couple types of leaves, some more logs so that the leaves did not disintegrate, and some glowstone so things don't spawn on the clay and the wool and all that kind of stuff. So, in my spare time, so to speak, I've been working on some pretty interesting projects. It's been so intensive that I've been working on the stuff for like the Quest Road and helping JoJo and a couple other things that I haven't even really been working on my Refuge to Regent. So I need to get back to that, but I have a road to finish. So I'm going to get back to the road, and I'll let you take a look at how it's coming along. I probably won't have all the trees in place yet, but I'll get there. I will at least have the brunt of the roadway done. So I will be right back. Okay, so a bunch of work has gotten done. Let me get, why am I hopping? I can fly. Get up on here. You can see a few of my trees in through there. They are mostly for a show across the skyline, as it were, of the tops of the trees. It's the edge where they are going to be. For right now, I have just focused on the part surrounding the road. As you can see, the wall stops here. It will continue this way, and likewise over on this side of the road, wall stops about there, and it will continue probably utilizing this cliff, and it'll go on this way. And I'll just make the front end of the wood line be where all the detail happens, and everything, as I was mentioning before, behind the wall is just going to, for the most part, remain as is unless it becomes quest related. But let's take a walk through the wonderland of the pathway here. I have included some glowstone. Oh, there's some ungrassed grass. There we go. I've included some glowstone at a lower percentage. I will say, instead of going 5%, 5% obliterated some of these trees. I cut it back to about 1.5 to 2% total. But that's enough to make it bright in here, and under a couple of these carpet that I've put on the road for added texture, I've also included some floor glowstone for the spots that seemed like it was dark enough to require some glowstone. Now there may be a couple spots in here where a hostile mob can spawn. Speaking of hostile mob, there's the least hostile mob you will ever meet. Hello, Cuddles. She's helping with the beautification of the area, making it look more smooth and less obtrusive to the path. Could probably, oops, change some of this to grass here, and there we go. Added some sugar cane around the pond. Decided to leave the pond there. Probably didn't even know there was a pond. There is. Well, you won't do. You're too bright. There we go. Tall grass. Using leaves to hide the glowstone. Interesting little way to kind of mute the sudden yellowness of it. And then here we have the entrance. Aww. I have gone ahead and started pre-clearing so that the wall can come back down on this end. This is the spawn side. Cleared some more stuff over there in preparation for making the perceived front end of the path have the extra detail. As you can see, the custom trees that I put there, just the one, really adds something to that area. So I'm happy with it. I just had to maybe make a few more different custom trees for this, and I'll be done. So the path for the most part is done. I just had to figure out where I want to have the quest related openings, and I will tailor the area around where that's going to be. So it's going to remain like this, and then say I want a pathway there, I'll just cut a path and adjust it so that this is actual roadway or thinner roadway, whatever, and work with it from there. Punch a hole through the wall, make it overgrown as needed, and then work with it that way. But for right now, I think I'm going to call this step of the roadway done. So, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please feel free to leave a message in the comment section below, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. Hello again. If you like this video and you like what we're doing here, please feel free to give a like. I do appreciate that, and it does help. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe so you know when my future stuff comes out. Got a lot of plans going. So I'm going to let you go, get back to work on some other finishing touches on here, and see what else needs to be done next. So thank you once again for watching. This is Thorn of Night, and that way over there is Little Cuddles. And I will talk to you later.